Oh my gosh, we are live. Welcome to Easy to Read Deep Thoughts. Uh, our topic today is near death, and our special guest is Trish Kane. And holy cow, I am pumped for this one. Yeah, when I was thinking of what I could say, just yeah. Well, actually, let me touch on the structure of the show, or touch on the reason, the origin. What are we doing here, right? So my guest gives me a topic, right? And then I take that topic, I write a newsletter, I do a little bit of deep diving, but I independently write my thoughts on what that topic could be without talking to my guest. And I do this on purpose because what I write might be way off, might be way wrong. So I have not talked with Trish about what I wrote in my newsletter. And that is on purpose because it's a good conversation, right? Like if I'm way off, it's an opportunity for her to correct or to guide or to add to what I said. And that's the awesome part here. Like I want to learn more. So this is yeah. This structure kind of just helps that along. I'm going to do an introduction, then I'm going to talk about the actual structure of the show a little bit, and then we're going to dive right into it. My name is Jonathon Guyer. My first noteworthy note is I helped implement a health information exchange for the state of Minnesota. And that became a real big deal. It's the most successful in the United States. In that opportunity, I was able to sit down and drink a cup of coffee with 30 some odd thousand veterans. I I had one-on-one conversations with tons of homeless veterans and astronauts and senators, like everywhere within that human spectrum. We had a cup of coffee together. I bring that up every episode because it changes how I think. Like yeah. My presentation style is an output of all these veteran interactions. How I view the world is an output of all these veteran interactions. Next noteworthy note: I coach a boxing class here locally, and it's turned into a real big deal. We are coming up on 500,000 views, 500,000 views. Uh, yeah, similar to
You're in
church.
DC, right? You're in DC?
No, I'm in central Minnesota.
Oh, you're in Minnesota now. Okay, cool. Were you ever in DC?
No, but most of my work takes place over there, and yeah, travel. I presented to
Amazing.
Congress last September.
Are there a lot of veterans in Minnesota, particularly? Because I've actually heard of a
Yes.
lot of people helping veterans in Minnesota.
Yeah. I don't know how we rank on the national the national population. I do. We
Thank
are
you.
most of the state is rural, and I think by default the amount of rural people that sign up for service is higher than urban. I'm making this up. I could be way off on that, but I believe I have that perception.
That's amazing. I didn't know that about Minnesota. I think I've been there once. I was there for VCon in 2022.
I don't know what
Gary
that is.
Vaynerchuk did like a
Serious?
event at the stadium in Minnesota, and I was there for that. That was the first time I ever did an interview on camera and spoke about Healerverse.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. You're talking Gary V, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
so he swears, right? And I'm like, oh, maybe I should start swearing. And yeah, I couldn't bring when we first started the boxing channel, I did a little bit and then I felt guilty for it. So then we stopped and we went back to PC. But
Yeah, especially if that's not in alignment with you. Like if you're not really a
yeah,
swearer, like you want to just throw that in there for the effects. I think it's good to be
yeah.
unique and yourself. Yeah. True to yourself. True to
Yes, ma'am.
yourself, Jonathan.
Oh my gosh. That's a setup. Trish, would you introduce yourself? What are you doing here? Why did you show up today?
So we had a call, what was that, about a month and a half back,
Yes, ma'am.
maybe, give or take. And we talked about various different things. And you said, hey, I do a podcast. And I was like, let's go. So first of all, thank you so much for sharing time and space with me today. And, I think really like what I like to look for in people's stories is like the pivotal moments that kind of changed everything. And if there's some background noise, I apologize. I'm traveling in the
No
UK
worries.
right now, and like right out there, there's always sirens. So I don't even think they have that much police personnel here in the UK because there's historically not that much crime, but around here, maybe it's ambulances. I don't know. But
I can't hear anything. You're good.
okay, good to know. Yes, so I basically grew up in Long Island, New York, and really struggled with a lot of not fitting in slash fitting in slash like, you know, like got along with everybody, but didn't really. But no arguments, just didn't really fit in because I'm like totally weird and totally cool at the same time. Yeah, you know, that's probably relatable. I like to share relatable content so people can feel like they're not alone.
Okay.
And just, you know, we're all united, so to make people feel at home here today. But and then in 2014 I kind of like ran away to Florida and wound up dying of a cocaine overdose. And actually I was 86 degrees when the paramedics found me, Fahrenheit, or 30 degrees Celsius, and I went through like that tunnel to the other side, came out of my body, saw my feet. I didn't know it was my body. I didn't know it was my feet. Saw some angels, and like 9-day coma after that. When I woke up, I remember the doctors taking the tube out of my throat. I was on life support for 9 days, and they were shocked when they asked me where I was, that I said Florida, Jupiter. They were like, and I was like, what is going on? Like, why are you so shocked? Anyway, so I had 2 strokes. I had to learn how to walk, talk, think, everything again.
Oh my God.
And that changed everything. Not only have I been sober for over 10 years off of drugs and alcohol, but in 2020, I realized that there was a lot of kind of like what helped me that whole time, like of healing and everything. And I mean, I've healed, I've done triathlons, marathons. I got a master's degree after that. Like, you know, like I worked with like spiritual and holistic practitioners and healed in community and did some other stuff for the addiction side of things and like healed myself, and I continue to heal myself. And again, come 2020, I realized that why are they like not showcasing what's possible with spiritual and holistic well-being? Why is that not at the forefront of everything? You know, the model is broken. So I was like, I need to build something. And honestly, I built it almost like underground for quite a few years, and kind of came out like a year ago officially being like, okay, let's go beta, you know? And it's a platform that unifies spiritual and holistic well-being worldwide with practitioners that are verified, so people know like who they're meeting with, and that like, but maybe we're not like, oh yes, they're going to save you. Like that's not what we're like verifying. We're verifying they are who they say they are. Like they do what they say they're going to do, and etc. Right? And
it's not a scary van out back.
Yeah, like and event ticketing and courses. And this year upcoming, we're going to launch the first telehealth platform with spiritual and holistic practitioners on the other end. As I sit here in the UK, for example, and I've been actually like on this side of meetings, and last night I spoke at the House of Lords for the 3rd time ever. Yeah. So at like a roundtable for AI, actually, I've been doing some research here, some deep research on like the system here, the sickness system, which is quite broken as it is, but people can't even get into it. I mean, the waiting lists are like astronomically long, and like people aren't getting the help that they need, right? And even if we do go into that model, which I'm not opposed to by any means, it doesn't really heal us, mind, body, and spirit in entirety. And really, like, what is the solution, right? A lot of people have unresolved traumas, addiction issues, mental health issues, like depression issues. It's the same thing with how you're working with military, right? I know they've seen a lot of stuff that a lot of them have spoken to me about too. And like, how do we help people, right? So right now I'm devising a plan of particularly how we can help the UK. The US is pretty easy. It's the platform that we have, and launching the telehealth. but it's a real need. And I also was speaking to people today, investors in EU, that also were like, we want help, like in the EU, and the language barriers and all that. But like, how do we like unify it and then also give people the help that they need? And also, like, we can have fun during it too, because therapy, nothing's really quantifiable, right? Like, okay, you take a test and then the test comes out a little bit better and
categorical.
Yeah. I know, because I've been thinking about that too. A lot of people are like, well, how do you qualify that? How do you measure that? And it's like, well, how do you feel now? Sometimes we need to let out a good cry. Sometimes we need to celebrate. Sometimes we need to do a little bit of both at the same time, and really feeling our emotions is something I think too, society on a global level asks us to not do. Like, you know what I mean? You don't want anyone to see how you're feeling. But I think too, really tapping into the emotions and getting down to the root cause of things and starting afresh every day and finding out who we truly are is the best thing we can do for ourselves. And showing up as ourselves also inspires others to be themselves. And we like literally do that through healing, right?
Awesome.
So 5dhealerverse.com is the platform, and we're raising $2 million on a $10 million val cap. Republic.com/healerverse. We have another 19,000 and change to go in the next 19 days. And then that's going to enable us to roll out the telehealth platform and also, support the team and the expansion and really go to market. Because people need this, and actually, like, everybody's thrilled about this. So how do we come together now and support the mission? Yeah.
Which, holy cow, in the grand scheme of things, that's just a little bit left out of a big goal. So nice work. Yeah. Kudos.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to dive right into it. Near death is a great topic. Trish Kane is a great person to discuss it with, and we touched on this in our one-on-one conversation a little bit, and I forgot some details along the way, but I remembered what I felt when we were talking, right? Like, that's just how my memory works. Yeah. So that played a role as I was writing this. Trish described her origin story to me back when we first met, and I look forward to her sharing it on Easy to Read Deep Thoughts, with our audience. Easy to Read Deep Thoughts, 12 p.m. Eastern this Friday. Life and death, space that didn't get added. First, I naturally find myself considering this from a Six Sigma type perspective, with both life and death as chronologically dependent values on a common, normal, simple graph. This view takes the edge off for me and makes the greater context a bit more visible. And this one is worth I recommend you don't go on mute. Why? Because it's in like a normal conversation. Like I was
taking a time out because I'm like, if another siren goes by, it's going to interrupt you. So I think that's super neat how you correlated near death and like life and death to Six Sigma. Are you a black belt?
Yeah. American Society for Quality
Fear, right? Fear. Every single fear, if you break down, and I've definitely shared this on other like lives before, if you look at the concept of fear, a lot of people don't sit there and realize, hey, I'm scared, or like I'm not fitting into the environment that I'm in, right? But if you sit there and dissect the actual fear, everything boils down to fear of death. I'm scared my wife's going to leave me, and then I'm not going to have money, and then I'm going to and then I'm going to die. Because it's like, okay, then what happens? Then what happens?
It's a real thing.
Yeah, every single fear boils down to death. Like, I guess one of the groups that I'm part of, they say we're scared of losing something that we already have, or not getting something we want, which also boils down to the fear of death. So what's really neat about me dying and coming back, literally, like, first of all, I'm not medically here right now, let alone speaking, and let alone like building Healerverse and like, you know what I mean, all this stuff.
The sentence, appreciate me dying, is That could be a t-shirt. That was
I like
good.
that.
Yeah.
I'm big on like cool t-shirts. I have a t-shirt that says crypto and brunch that I made because it's cool for like a Sunday thing. And then also one that says everything that I touch turns to gold because I think we need more positive affirmations in our life
I
to
like it.
inspire us. Like there's really no point in like looking at negative stuff. Like we talked a lot about emotions, right? And like how things make us feel, how people make us feel, like scenarios. But knowing that everything boils down to fear of death, and I'm not medically here right now, but like I went there and it wasn't so bad. Also, more than ever, people are Googling like near death experiences. Like I think more than ever, and maybe it's the law of attraction, but I keep meeting everybody that's like, I've been Googling, can I please have 15 minutes of your time? And I'm like, go to like just Google me. Because we can't always have like intimate conversations. And like, I just want people to like not be scared of that, and to really take time to themselves to work with practitioners, to be around like positive influences. Like this is cliche what I'm about to say. They say like look at the 5 people closest to you, like it's a reflection of you, you're looking in the mirror, but it's so true. And also I think people are scared to be alone, right? That's kind
Sure.
of like a higher level fear, as far as like
It's
breaking
like a
it down.
human nature thing where we are meant
Yes,
to be
yes,
together. Yeah.
actually, yes. It's one of our instincts to be in community. Yeah. Sometimes we do need to step aside and kind of assess like the situation and take time to ourselves, especially when we're elevating, evolving, and growing. The people that like we're in our life previously aren't going to serve us in the future. And it's not like we're leaving them out in the cold. They're supposed to go in another direction too. Like we're all on a journey, right? Like I also, like all of us, we only have so many hours in the day, so much capacity, and whatever our true like purposeful driven mission is, and when we're like focusing on that, not everybody has, we don't have time for everybody else anymore, like and if people take that offensively, that's on them. I think too, like as a founder, like I'm a very low maintenance friend,
Awesome.
I'm a very low maintenance friend, family member, all the things. I don't have time for everybody. Like I'm on a mission. Like this is not even my idea. This was like a God given idea, like to like literally change the world. And I don't say that with ego. I say that with love. Like I'm not going to stop.
1%. That's oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That is I had a billion thoughts while you were talking, but I was active listening, so I made a point to not think about them, and now I don't remember what they are. So I'm just
That's so
gonna
epic.
uh,
What can Healerverse do to support the military? Like basically offer something to them, maybe like in the US. Like that's one of the things that I definitely want to support, because actually like when I look at some of the military retired personnel that I've had conversations with, they're very enlightened, most of them. They've seen some stuff, and all the things that are happening.
structure doesn't survive the first shot, or the Mike Tyson. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched
Yes.
in the mouth. How things are supposed to work and how they actually work, there's a massive disconnect between those two. It actually, I speak to that here in the next couple of paragraphs with order and disorder.
All
Like
right.
we intuitively skew towards order, the health system. We intuitively prioritize it. It's a measurement bias. We give more significance to the easy things than the not easy, the not comfortable things. And order is easy. The kicker is reality doesn't work like that. Well, that's a blanket statement, which I also speak to later on in this article. But like the world is disorder. The disorder is the order, right? Which is
Yeah,
I'm
I
not sure
like
if that's
that.
I think that's a paradox, but it's actually
No,
and
I like it.
you spoke to something along those lines earlier on, but I was picturing it as a level of depth. Oh my gosh, I can't remember exactly what you said. Um, no, I lost it. But there's like a level of depth. Yeah. When I present this topic, I speak about it like human. On the very top level of depth, we're all human. On the very bottom, we are all unique humans. So if you say that we're all the same, my question to you is which point in the scale of humanity or what it is to be human are you referring to? Because if you're referring to the top, yes, we're all human. If you're referring to the bottom, no, we are not the same, right? Because we're different. We're different people.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I never even notice what people look like. I literally see their spirits. Like it's
Ooh,
weird.
I like where this is
Yeah.
going.
It's true though. That's my truth, you know. I think a lot of people are superhuman because they've done a lot of work on themselves. Actually, my laptop right now, to get a little height because I'm in this Airbnb, is sitting on my notebook because I'm so a little old school and I write stuff down. And also Think and Grow Rich, right? And like these are some of
This is
the
an awesome book. I love that. Yeah, yeah.
my laptop is on it right now. So what's interesting about that is, first of all, there's a lot of theories in there that I'm laughing at because I'm like, oh my gosh, as like the president just stepped in like a couple of days ago, even though I'm here in the UK. And a lot of like the synchronicities in there and what they're talking about and how society was structured versus like almost like keep us in the box, right? Versus like the truth. Like I think the people that are tapped into themselves are more superhuman than anyone. Who wouldn't want to be superhuman? Who wouldn't want to be superhuman? Right? And a
I
lot of
wear a cape
people
on
just don't
Tuesdays.
think, they don't believe that that's possible. But also, if you reflect back, everything is already always worked out.
Ooh,
Yeah.
elaborate
And
on that one a little bit. I like what you just said there.
everything always works out. We always do so much better than what we think we're going to do. We're better than we think we are. You know what I mean? And even when I go back to that first interview that I did at VCon of Healerverse, I didn't know what to say. Now I'm like, put me on stage.
That's
Please
right.
put me on stage. Like, you know, like I
We'll
just
figure it
knew
out.
I was supposed to do something. I didn't really know what I was doing. And now I'm like, tag me in, baby. Put me on all the stages. Hand me the mic. You know, anybody that wants to, like, you know, wants me on their stage. Like right now, like I usually charge to go on stages because I get asked a lot. But right now, like I'm just opening it up because like we're fundraising. We need to take this to the moon. And also, I honestly love what you're doing and I love what you stand for. And I'm super inspired by you as well. So you have a great personality. You're super eccentric. I love that.
I'm funny too.
You are funny. You're funny and you're eccentric and you have like a great personality. And I think it's important that everybody gets like to feel good about themselves.
You
It's
know, that
important.
oh my gosh, you know, and the what you just spoke to with the willingness, the adaptability to jump on
Mm,
stage. And I don't know, I was picturing it like
growth.
not a lot of preparation required. And that's kind of how I
Yeah,
wrote,
that's
just
better.
dumping. It
Totally.
speaks, it's an output of security, right? Or maybe it's personal understanding. I don't remember how
Yeah.
you referred to it, but like knowing yourself. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what you said. Yeah, yeah. That's an output of knowing yourself. Because once you know yourself, you spoke to a negativity bias, or that's how I pictured what you said.
True. What even
Yeah,
is
yeah.
negative? That's one of the things I've been working on is like not saying good or bad and not saying negative or positive. Like sometimes I'll say
The
for lack of
dualism.
better terms, but being super mindful with our words is super
Yeah.
important. It takes a hell of a lot of practice, a lot of practice.
Because
And
humans are
then,
negative. It's just the way it is. Like that.
I
Welcome.
mean, of
Like that's how it
course,
is to
like
be alive.
if
Yeah.
you're like, I can't stand when people say, "Oh, I'm fat" or "I don't look good." It's like, yo, who cares? First of all, you're not fat. Your body hears you. I hope you don't hear this.
It's
Like, you know
okay.
what I mean? You're beautiful. I literally think everybody's beautiful. Stuff like that, like biases, but your body's listening to you. My friend taught me probably like 4 years ago. Maybe it was longer. Maybe it was longer. She's like, because I was like, oh, like, I don't know. I was trained that way to say, like, oh, eating a cookie is BAD. You know what I mean? Bad. And that's not the case. That's not true. If you want the cookie, eat the cookie. And when you put that negative connotation on eating the cookie, there's a few things that happen there psychologically, right? One, it makes you want it more. And
That's
two, you think
a thing.
your like higher self, your being, thinks that you're actually doing something that's not okay. And like, that's not true. It's okay. Eat the cookie. Maybe like don't eat all the cookies, because if you do, you're not going to feel good, you know?
Just given the time, we were at 25 minutes. This is a
Yes.
half an hour.
Get rid of this screen. Get rid of the screen. I want to see your full on face. Get rid of it.
All right.
Get rid of it.
I got to figure out how. Oh, roll.
Hide screen. Unshare. Yeah, this is good. Awesome.
Well, hey, the last few of these that we've gone over on time, if you're willing, we're just going to go over on time. Okay,
I'm hanging out in the Airbnb. London, where am I? London, UK. I almost said Colorado.
You can round. It's pretty close.
I'm still jet lagged, Jonathan. Like weeks later, I'm still jet lagged. It's hysterical.
I have a post-it on my mirror. I don't remember what it says right now. I think it's "You're awesome" or something. Just some positive affirmation or whatnot. But on the other side of the spectrum, I'm a boxer, right?
Yeah.
Like in boxing, you have to embrace a bit of paranoia or a bit of you label it however you want. Most people would say it's negative. I don't see it as negative, but like I am hyper aware of everybody around me at all points in time, which is kind of a paranoia, but it's like a boxing thing. Like I feel people's distance from me, and this is one of the things I coach on, which is
question.
It's like being aware of a threat at all time, which is negative, but I don't. It's like paradoxical to what we're talking about now, because it's not negative for me, but I know how many feet or how many steps people are away from me, like naturally all the time.
Yeah.
It's still positive.
Question. So you obviously know a lot about nutrition, right? Okay. Yeah. Because obviously
I was invited to the Olympics. That was a bit ago. Yeah.
So what's interesting right now, obviously, like, because I know you know a lot about politics and whatnot, like with the incoming administration, and I'm just going to bring this up briefly. I know we only have a few minutes, so you can go over. I'm cool with that. But, like basically everything we were taught was inaccurate information about the food pyramid and what's healthy and what's what, right? And, but so one of the things I've worked on in the last years has been, like, I've done the macros when I was doing CrossFit competitions and training for like when I was training for the Ironman, but I broke my shoulder. Yeah, that was in like 2020. I broke my shoulder actually it cracked in half. And the doctor did it. I was still doing CrossFit. And I'm like, why isn't my arm going up? And the doctor was like, this is pretty incredible. It went right back together. It's broken in half. And I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, I went off track. So knowing what's actually in our food and what works for us, like what have you found, and like what have you done trial and error on the nutrition front, right? Because like spiritual and holistic healing has worked for you, or like do you now just eat intuitively, or do you count macros, or what do you do, or you just live and you're a coach now? What do you do to feel your best, like nutrition wise, mind, body, spirit? What are some of the things that you do?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So knowing better and then what I do are not the same thing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Fair enough. Cool.
So
cool.
Left to my own devices, I do not follow the right path. My wife cooking. Oh, actually, from a Six Sigma perspective, it is noticeable in my performance boxing wise, I punch people 2 days a week, every week for the last 20 years. Like it is which kind of physically is kind of like a fight for your life, like the extreme kind of situation. So it's super noticeable. It's super noticeable. And I notice when I'm eating what my wife cooks in comparison to me eating whatever I want. Like it is a noticeable difference. And it's actually super interesting. We're talking about like quantifying what did what, and I'm not able to do that, but I do know on like level of depth, on a high level, just whatever my wife cooks in comparison to what I do, it's a significant difference between the two. So like home cooking in comparison to my just grabbing whatever I want, and my super efficiency, if it's in the cupboard, I'm going to eat it. Like it's Yeah. That
Sounds like
there's a
you have a
home
really
cooked
good wife,
meals makes a
Jonathan.
difference. What's
It
that?
sounds like you have a really good wife.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, she's taking care of you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's amazing. That's so sweet. Aw. So what
So
else do you guys
well,
do? What do you guys do for like date nights? Like, have you guys ever done any spiritual or holistic methodologies together?
church.
Okay, that's
And actually,
amazing.
that's the origin to our boxing channel. Our class, we can only fit like 50 kids in the gym, and I say kids are all in their 20s.
That's so
We can only
nice.
fit 50 people in there. So when we maxed out, when our waiting list was at like 30 some odd people, I decided to put it online because when my wife and I can't go to church, we watch it.
Oh,
And
that's really nice.
with 30 some odd kids not being able to come into the gym, I figured, what the heck? We'll just, I'll record it. I'll put it on. If you want to watch it, you can watch it. If not, if not. And then that's how we got to the 500,000 views. Turns out
Wow.
just like
That's really
welcoming everybody.
nice.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so nice. See, like everyone needs to find what works for them, right? Because the thing is, that's like an hour a week, though. What about the other hours? You guys just practice being nice to each other, or like how do you bond
With what? My
with each
wife or
other?
boxing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you pray together?
What's that?
Do you pray together?
Yeah. Yeah, we
That's
did
so
this morning.
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh my
I
God.
pray with my
Because you
dog.
and I met at Startup Church. I kind
I
of forgot about that a
know.
little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly like I love going there. I feel like it's so therapeutic um
It's
and
Gerald.
just
Gerald, what's his
yeah, he's
last name?
amazing. And being around like-minded people, I haven't been able to go the last several weeks,
Yeah, me neither.
but I've really enjoyed every single moment that I've been there because there is something so special about being a purposeful, driven founder. And also that's faith-based, right? And faith based to me means like this is not my idea of what I'm doing. I get the ideas, but overall, I'm just like a soldier, if you want to call it, or like a transponder, or like a birther, like birther. I realize that sounds funny with my New York slash Florida slash London accent right now, but my job is just to like bring things to the world, right? Like all of us. And to be like a faith driven founder is like truly amazing. And I love how he does it with basically bringing a lot of founders together that we all have our own missions and being able to like listen to like and it's always right on point too. Do you feel like that? It's like exactly what I need
Yeah.
to hear.
It feels
He's
like
so
a boxing
tapped
match. I come out
in.
exhausted. Or,
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah.
The one week he was like, it's go time. And I was feeling the exact same way. And even with my team, I mean, I'm like, it's go time. And they're like, I love this. And then we'll like message each other LFG. You know what I mean? It's go time. Yeah. And it
He's
truly is go time.
Gerald's the reason him posting like that was the first I know another VC that's faith based. Actually, I know two VCs. They both coincidentally just by chance happen to be Christian based or faith based, however yeah. I only knew two. 100% of them are faith based. Okay, well, Gerald posting the stuff that he posted was my peer pressure. It was my reasoning. I've opened up about this. I didn't grow up like this. So this is talking about God. Like it's awkward for me. I am outside of my comfort zone. It feels like walking up to the ring to go into a fight. Like I am nervous to do it. And actually I pushed myself outside of my comfort zone because of the post that Gerald was posting before I went to Startup Church and before we met. So like Gerald was a passive, indirect peer pressure for me to start talking about this. Because
That's
otherwise
amazing.
I probably wouldn't.
So first of all, I just want to give you a shout out. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being vulnerable. And you're passing
Oh,
that
I'm a
on right
boxer.
now,
Yeah,
sharing
boxer.
that. I know, but you just were
I'm not gonna say that.
vulnerable, and that's good. You know what I mean? You don't have to have the boxer facade on all the time. Maybe it's just I'm a healer or whatever. Like I usually bring stuff out of people by asking questions,
Awesome.
maybe not on purpose, you know, like I'm not a therapist, like none of that. But I'm definitely a sensitive, like also been through a lot of human.
Tuned in is how I perceive it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
intuitive too, right? And
Mm.
I also can relate to what you shared. So I grew up with a punishing God. And when I got sober, I realized, and I really did, the things I would say,
What do you
like
mean
towards
by that?
God.
I don't know.
Yeah, like
Punishing God. I'm you lost
basically,
me.
if you screw up, you're going to hell. If you do
Oh,
this, you're getting in trouble. Like the priest is watching you, all this stuff, right? Like that's not my
oh,
God
that'd be like a
today.
negativity bias too, then, eh?
Yeah, like you're
Mm.
gonna get hurt if you do something wrong. Like, and like putting like human limitations on God. And for me, like I have a big conception of spirituality. It's like ever evolving, ever changing, growing. But like my God loves me and loves humanity. And that's what I relate to now. I don't care what anyone else believes. You know what I mean? It's none of my business, you know? I support everybody, like whatever they want to believe and do.
It's
I
interesting.
support
Okay. Yeah.
it.
The variety.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want to like be like what God would want me to be. And like, that's it. That's all I could do. It's like, what do you want me to do? Actually, for like years, I forgot just to say thank you when I was waking up. And like the
That's
last like
yeah.
3 months, I mean, I don't know. I'm really bad at quantifying time because I'm so present and who knows. But
Awesome.
I've been waking up. The first thing I say every day is thank you for waking me up. Who I'm talking to, I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Like gratitude is everything.
That's what my wife says. Thank you for another day.
Oh, that's so
Mm.
sweet. She sounds amazing, Jonathan. Get her on here.
Oh my God. We were just talking about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, get her on here.
Mm.
I think that would be so epic. Yeah,
Awesome. Holy cow. We are set. Oh,
yeah.
hey, 7-7.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah. We are over time. Closing thought. So I have
Yeah.
a thing that I like to I'm going to ask you to end this meeting with one deep thought. Like, what would you like our audience to take away from this conversation? But before we go into that, I want you to plug the healer verse one more time. Why? Because it's cool, and this show is doing awesome. We had 17,000 views on our last episode, all executive
Amazing.
directors within the Washington, D.C. area. And I feel like it's
Beautiful.
an opportunity that I'm
Beautiful.
able to give you to help you out. Right. So plug
Thank
the
you.
Healerverse. Then I'm going to ask you to close the show up.
Amazing. So the website is 5dhealerverse.com and republic.com/healerverse is where you go to invest. I'm looking forward to working with you guys in Washington this year, the incoming administration, on helping to solve some of the issues as everything is getting torn down and rebuilt. I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm supportive. I love it. And yeah, it's time to heal the world. That's what I would say. Like the closing thought is heal the world. I had somebody tell me, Trish, that's too big, da da da. And like in my ego sense, I'm like, maybe for you.
Oh, I like it.
Maybe that's too big for you, but like together we do this damn thing. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
And anybody in Washington is fine to reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn, Trish Kane, MBA. You'll find me. I'm pretty sure I'm the first Trish Kane that pops up. This year, we're going to launch the first telehealth platform, and actually some of the people that are in the administration's direct circle, I've already had lots of calls with and met and everything. So some of them know what's up already, and any support is well received, well loved, and let's go.
Holy cow. That was perfect. Perfect. There is nothing to add to that. That was awesome. High five. Yeah.
High five. Let's
I like
go.
it.
2025. Let's go.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. We
This
are
is the
done.
year.
What a cool episode. I believe I will double check, but I believe your contact info is already in the comments to this chat. So we should be good to go.
Amazing. Let's go. Let's go across the globe. Let's heal the world. Literally, it's go time. Some things are just divine timing, if that makes sense, and it's go time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 2025.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
we're
you,
ending it.
Jonathan.
Awesome. Great conversation. Thank you.
Looking forward to the episode with your wife.
Awesome.
Yes.